Okay, this is a serious episode.
BethInShow, BethInShow. It's not the BethInShow, BethInShow, BethInShow. Let's go!
Okay, so this morning I saw something, and this might be my last vlog. My name is Beth Hoyt. I live at... And this is my confession. When I was a young child, I loved animals. I really wanted a pet. I wanted a dog. I wasn't allowed to get a dog because my mom and my sister are afraid of dogs. Really afraid. Really... After years and years of pleading and begging and crying, I'm sure, in 5th grade, my mother said I was allowed to get a pet, and she drove me to Colonial Pet Shop with 2 P's and an E in Manitowoc, Wisconsin, where I was allowed to pick out a bird. And I picked out a parakeet, and he was blue and white and black. We got a cage, we took him home, and I named him Mr. Cooper, because hanging with Mr. Cooper was popular. He hung on his swing. You get it? And I loved Mr. Cooper so much, and he was a great bird, and he would come out of his cage and go on your finger until he flew away and would fly around the house and you'd chase him, and then he'd eventually hit the window and then, crash and then be kind of so stunned that you could pick him up and put him back in his cage again. And it was my bird and my responsibility. And I was having a very busy week. I was probably also just 10 years old. So there's that. And I went to pet Mr. Cooper on the way out the door. He was in his food dish, head first in there, rock solid, dead. It was empty. It was an empty food thing. And I remember that day I went to school and I was crying, and my teacher, whose name is, she said, "What happened, Bethy?" And I was like, "Well, my pet died." And she was like, "Oh, what was it?" And I said, "It was a bird." And she went, "Oh, just a bird." So, maybe a half a year later, I was allowed to get more birds because we had the cage. And so my mom was like, "Sure, I guess if you want to get more birds." So we went back to Colonial Pet Shop, 2 P's and an E, and I decided it's too soon for a parakeet. It's too soon. So I got 2 finches. Do you know what they look like? They look like this.
I know why the cage birds sing.
And they all kind of looked the same, except there was one that was molting. She had a bald head. And I said, "I don't care which ones you give me, they all look the same, just don't give me that molting one." I don't know if she was challenging me because that was a shitty thing for me to say, to discriminate against this one who's obviously suffering, or if she misheard me as saying, "Please give me the molting one," because I took my 2 little finches home, put them in the cage, and there was the molting one. Well, Bill Clinton had just become president, so I named them Bill and Hill. Hill was the one with the molting head, and Hill bit the dust. And then I went back to Colonial Pet Shop, 2 P's and an E, got another finch. I just kind of was like, "Oh, that one." And brought her back, and I named her Jill, so I had Bill and Jill. And then Bill died pretty quick after that, and then Jill, it was just a matter of time, days. Things get murky here, and I don't know what the impetus was to get another bird. But I found myself back at Colonial Pet Shop, and I was there to pick out a parakeet. My wounds had been healed from Mr. Cooper, and I looked at all the parakeets, and there's one that was really fun, really having a good time, really flying around and crazy, and he was lime green and lime yellow, and I said, "I want that one." And I got that one, and I brought him home, and we put him in the cage, and he didn't move. No, he's not dead. And we realized that the reason he had been moving around so much in the pet shop is because he was terrified of the birds, very antisocial, very terrified. And I had a hard time naming him because I didn't feel connected. And so I think out of habit, I ended up calling him Cooper. And it was summertime, so we put his cage out in the back porch during the day because he made a lot of mess. And then this is a real cloudy memory, but somehow Cooper got out of the cage, just flew out into the suburban wilderness of Wisconsin. I ran after him, knowing it was pointless. I'm sure it was kind of just like a jog. And then that summer, Manitowoc, Wisconsin was infested with seagulls. I'm pretty sure Cooper, too, was leading that pack. I woke up this morning, looked out my window, there's always a bunch of birds on this wire, and this is what I saw. Mr. Cooper is back 10, 15, lots of years later, and I don't know what's going to happen because now there are no birds on that wire. There are always at least 10 birds on that wire. There's not a single bird on that wire. Do you see what I mean? Do you see why I'm scared? I don't know what he's planning or what he's capable of, but he's had a lot of time to think about it. The bird world is after me, and they have a reason to be. I was weak, and I was young, and I hope I haven't isolated my bird pet audience. Good luck to you. God, I'm so scared. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. No!